What the heck is going on with GameStop, with Redditors, with this whole investing world and everything blowing up? This is insane. This video will explain in simple terms who the players are, what they're doing, and why everyone is freaking out about it. The home team is the hedge fund managers. These people are professional investors. They are experts in making money all different kinds of ways in the stock market. When most people think about making money in the stock market, we picture something like investing in a stock or in an index fund, and we buy it at a certain price today. Then we hope that over time, as the investments grow and things happen and whatever companies make whatever money, then that ends up being worth more money in the future. So then in the future, whenever we need to take the money back out, we sell that investment, we get this pile of money back, and hopefully the pile that we started with is smaller than the pile we ended up with. Yay! The thing is, there are a lot of other ways to make money in the stock market too, and these hedge fund people have been doing that for years and years. They take advantage of these other kind of investing means and methods, their specialized tools, their huge amounts of money to have an advantage over the average investor. And that's really their value proposition. They're making a ton of money because they're promising people who've invested with them that they're going to make so much more money than anybody who invests on their own that they should be justified in earning their big salaries and their big bonuses because they'll be able to realize the difference. In the past, they've been known to actually influence the price of a stock or an ETF or an index fund or whatever strictly by their own actions. They can potentially move the price of an investment on their own. And if you think about it, that kind of feels like cheating. You shouldn't be able to just choose to move things in ways that benefit you, right? But that's been the norm. And they've historically profited a lot by doing this. The managers that work at the biggest firms were expected to make salaries of over $500,000 and bonuses of over $2 million per year back in 2018. Think about how much more they could be earning now. Well, maybe not literally now, but until recently. Sheesh. And the away team is random dudes on the internet. There's an online forum called Reddit where there are discussion topics on all manner of different things. It's gotten really popular over time, and you can pretty much find a little subgroup to talk about any topic that you want to, like Star Wars, idiots in cars, dogs doing cute things, and of course, investing. The particular group that's making all these headlines nowadays is called Wall Street Bets. There's a distinct air of self-awareness in this group because the kind of investments that these people typically talk about in this little subgroup are extremely risky, hence bets. And their often self-deprecating behavior kind of reflects their awareness of that risk because they could obviously stand to gain a lot of money, but they could stand to lose a lot of money by taking big risks. This is a massive community of people overall, and despite their reckless behavior, they tend to stick together and flock towards similar investments like flies on a fresh poo. This is where things get really interesting. Some of these Redditors started to realize that they could potentially band together and wield the kind of power to influence the stock market as a whole like these crazy hedge fund managers have done over time. Since they didn't have billions of dollars at their own disposal, they realized they'd have to mobilize thousands or millions of cell phone app wielding warriors to kind of have this common goal and to be able to have that kind of influence, but they went for it. And if done correctly, it would have huge implications, i.e. Redditors making millions of dollars and hedge fund managers not making millions of dollars. The plan came together and they set their sights on GameStop. Now, if you're not familiar, GameStop is a video game rental company. It's kind of like Blockbuster, and honestly, it wasn't doing much better than Blockbuster. As an interesting side note, as I looked up Blockbuster and GameStop for this video, I learned that the only remaining Blockbuster was fairly recently turned into an Airbnb, where apparently you can still go and watch a bunch of different movies there. It's weird. Interesting. So GameStop as a business was not doing very well, and the hedge fund managers saw blood in the water. They did a specific kind of investing that would make them a ton of money if GameStop continued to fail as a business. And they would have done exactly that had it not been for the Redditors in Wall Street Bets to come together and do what they did. The Redditors joined forces and they basically did the opposite investments of all the hedge fund people so that in a way they could try and influence the price of GameStop to go up instead of down. In these kind of investing situations, it really is a zero-sum game. Typically, for people like you and I investing in other things, it's not really that way, but in this case, it really is. So someone is going to leave this battle bloody and bruised and broken, and somebody else is going to leave a millionaire. The result, at least for this moment, is that the Redditors kind of won. They actually drove the price of the stock up so high that the hedge fund people have lost now billions of dollars, and a lot of Reddit people have made potentially a lot of money. Whew, crazy. What all this means is people were kind of surprised at the fact that this could even happen, that times times had changed so much that these kind of unexpected new, truly new things could happen. Before the internet, there was really no way for millions or hundreds of thousands of people to band together and unite in a common front to kind of do a defined action like this, especially one that's distinctly against a hedge fund. It's just kind of a backwards action that no one thought was really possible. Of course, the average investor doesn't really need to think about this. We don't need to necessarily draw up our arms and join together to go into battle, but the people in Wall Street bets are a unique breed, and they love taking risks and they love kind of poking at the system. It's just pretty wild in general that we have the ability to understand this system so well, communicate about it together, and then join forces and take action and then kind of turn the powers that be upside down on themselves. It's really, really, I don't know, crazy. Is this right? Is this wrong? Is this legal? Is this justified on the case of the Redditors? That's really not for me to say, and plus, I have no idea. But it's indisputably fascinating to watch. What does this mean for the future? What does this mean for you as an investor? Well, these kind of battles have been happening in the stock market for forever. It's just not commonly been between masses of people in the public and a hedge fund. It's just been between kind of other big firms against each other. But this kind of high-risk investing is always going to be alluring. People love hearing the story of the guy that turned $50,000 into $22 million. People love casinos. They love lottery tickets. We are so enamored at the prospect of getting a disproportionate reward for the amount of time or resources that we invest in something that we'll never get tired of it. And I predict that these kind of things will go on in the future as well. For someone who stays out of the middle of the brawl, I doubt you'll be greatly impacted by it. But they do create new questions and potentially new things to confront. I assume that these recent events will prompt new rules and regulations around what's okay with investors and what's okay with hedge funds. I somehow doubt my portfolio of 99% index funds is going to take a big swing in either direction as a result of these kinds of things, but you never know. And plus, who can predict the future? Redditors? Maybe so, maybe not. Our plan is to continue investing almost entirely in low-cost, well-diversified index funds because they've got a good upside and a low likelihood of actually losing money. You've got to make the right decision for you that's tailored to the amount of risk that you're okay with. Good luck out there. Thank you for watching. Bye.